Attack says he should be dead. A second death from a Horror Katherine crash, the driver now facing upgraded charges. A warning for Territorians visiting Sydney suburbs as more hotspots are declared. Darwin Port workers voice their concerns over COVID cases on the rise on the Diamantina. And fancy some fireworks this New Year's Eve? The top end's ready to put on a party.
This is 9 News Darwin.
Good evening. 9 News has spoken exclusively to the man who was bashed unconscious and stripped naked by a group in Darwin's CBD. Some of the alleged offenders' NTFL futures are tonight on the chopping block after being refused bail yesterday.
Left fighting for life in ICU in a coma over Christmas. Cassidy Gerard is lucky to be alive, let alone to have bounced back to health so quickly after being kicked, punched, stomped on and stripped naked while unconscious in the middle of the road.
I've heard I was like face down, bleeding out, just all the above really, and yeah, I'm pretty shocked myself. I think, oh, this isn't, I'm just healing up fine. I've got a few scabs around the back of my head and whatever, but yeah, I've pretty much come off physically unscathed, which is just a miracle, really.
Yeah, I'm really glad it was a miracle on our side.
A tourist from Brisbane planning to have a crack at the Territory's $1 million fish competition.
Yeah, up for the competition, brought the boat up, drove up, and we tried giving it a crack on the boat, and just with the concussion and the dizziness, it's just, they don't mix, those two things, so I've just had to write it off altogether.
A Nightcliff Tigers player and 2 Palmerston Magpies recruits were among the 6 accused of carrying out a group attack on Christmas Eve. The footballing future of Kian Wise, Nightcliff's Division 2 leading goal kicker, now hanging in the balance. The Tigers released a statement today saying they wouldn't take any action at this stage as it's an ongoing court matter. Melbourne import Carl Gruber could have played his last game for Palmerston's Division 1 side, as well as Magpies Premier League women's player Tayara Morris. The club issued a statement explaining that it does not condone any aggressive or violent behaviour, saying we uphold a strict code of conduct which we take very seriously, and we will not take any action at this stage during the ongoing court matter.
I honestly hope these guys, they learn, and girls, yeah, they learn something from this. Like, at the end of the day, I could be dead today, I could be disabled, and this could not be a happy ending, and you should just be thankful that you will be getting out of that situation.
Zarisha Bradley, 9 News.
A 19-year-old man has become the second victim of an alleged high-speed crash in Katherine earlier this month. He'd been in a critical condition at Royal Darwin Hospital since December 10 after the car he was a passenger in smashed into a pole, erupting into flames. A 24-year-old man passed away last week. The 20-year-old driver remains in custody and will appear in court in February. Darwin Port workers are tonight worried they could become the weak link that unravels the Northern Territory's coronavirus success. It comes as more COVID-19 cases are now linked to the livestock export vessel docked at East Arm Wharf.
The Acting Chief Minister fronting up.
We have had 1 positive case and we've also had another low positive case.
Amid fears on the front line.
We're concerned that we'll take the virus to our families and then through the wider community.
The Territory's new cases both connected to the Diamantina livestock carrier, docked at Darwin Port, arriving from Indonesia on Sunday with 28 people on board, half now at Howard Springs. It brings the total to 3 crew members under care at Royal Darwin Hospital.
Our public health officials are working closely with the people on the vessel and the owners of that ship.
Australia's Maritime Union today pointing fingers.
The federal government needs to have a consistent and cohesive national policy. We need to see 14-day quarantine respected. We need to see testing. We need to see care for the seafarers' welfare as well.
While the union's NT branch says it's been pleased with the Territory government's protocols, there's revelations port staff weren't notified that a crew member was even being tested for coronavirus aboard until a day after the ship docked.
Certainly is a room for improvement. We should have been notified.
There's been a huge amount of work done with anybody that's been seen as a close contact at risk, and we'll continue that communication with them going forward.
The Morrison government too defending its measures, telling 9 News the Commonwealth has implemented rigorous mandatory pre-arrival screening protocols that ensure suspected COVID cases are identified and dealt with even before ships arrive into Australia.
And we don't want to be the weak link.
Talia Sav, 9 News.
As we go to air, there's an urgent scramble to contain a fresh COVID outbreak in Sydney's inner west and southwest, a surge in cases that has prompted even tougher New Year's Eve restrictions. A family cluster in Croydon, not linked to the Northern Beaches, is causing particular concern, with infection spreading as far as Wollongong and the Blue Mountains.
Sydney's inner west shocked into action as it emerges as the new virus epicentre, COVID breaking containment lines and surfacing in the suburbs.
We've seen the proliferation of cases outside the Northern Beaches overnight.
The Premier announcing a serious setback, our first double-digit day since last Monday. 18 new cases, 9 are linked to the Avalon cluster. All were already identified as close contacts and all were isolating. The other 9 are of concern. 1 is expected to be connected to the Northern Beaches, 2 are in Wollongong and 6 are part of an emerging Croydon cluster.
In particular, the Croydon cluster is of concern because there are no direct links at this stage.
The outbreak detected in 1 extended family. 6 cases spread over 3 households. And after a series of Christmas catch-ups, 34 close contacts are now isolating, some in the southwest.
We can't have this being seen as a Northern Beaches local government area issue.
And confirmation of the spread this afternoon in Sydney's southwest. Immediate 14-day isolation for anyone who visited Bankstown Sports Club, in particular Monkey Mania and La Piazza Cafe on Monday, or Bass Hill Plaza, Venus Nail Salon and Hair Management on Christmas Eve. A Facebook notification for a Blue Mountains pharmacy and infected staffer worked over the weekend, expected to be included in tomorrow's numbers. Emergency cleaning is underway at Bardwell Park RSL after a patron who was there on Monday tested positive. New alerts too for the Santa Claus photo booth at Westfield Burwood, Officeworks at Punchbowl, Buckley's at Circular Quay also on the latest list of affected venues. The bar and an open-air cinema at Mrs Macquarie's Chair, both visited by an infected woman from Wollongong on the 17th of December. Anyone who attended is urged to get tested and isolate until a negative result. The Croydon concern prompting huge queues.
Put the New Year's plans on hold. Need to go and get tested immediately.
The fresh outbreaks prompting the Premier to scale back New Year's Eve parties even further. On the northern end of the Northern Beaches, visitors remain capped at 5. For the southern end, as well as all of Greater Sydney, the Central Coast, Wollongong and the Blue Mountains, households are only allowed to host 5 visitors, down from 10, and the advice is to sit outside or on a balcony if possible. At parks and beaches outside the Northern Beaches, up to 30 are allowed to gather, but in reality, picnics and barbecues on New Year's Eve could be impossible. Many councils are fencing off grassed areas to stop people congregating.
Our preferred advice is that people just stay home for New Year's Eve.
And if there's even a suspicion of people flouting the rules, some uninvited guests in blue could be arriving.
We've got a lot of resources out there that'll be in uniform and from specialist commands, and if we have to door knock to ensure people are complying with the current health orders, we'll certainly be doing that.
Move on orders first and then fines $1,000 each for breaking the rules. Police showing their zero tolerance approach, another 9 wedding guests copping the penalty after leaving the Northern Beaches lockdown to attend a Piedmont reception, bringing the total number of fines at the event to 21. Sydney, a city on notice. Liz Daniels, 9 News.
Testing clinics in Wollongong were overwhelmed today after confirmation the virus had spread south. Some people waited all day only to be turned away, health authorities struggling to keep up with demand.
They rallied in their thousands, waiting, some for the whole day, standing, sitting on the footpath, in the gutter, queuing in their cars. The community of Wollongong heeding the call to get tested after the virus spread south from Sydney.
I think it's great the way the community's come out.
I was out in town and I was like, I feel like it's a good thing to just clarify.
A community which just yesterday had empty testing clinics, now completely overwhelmed.
We need people to be tested and to bring this situation under control.
A new pop-up clinic at Fig Tree opened this morning, but cars were soon stretched down the Princes Highway. Our own reporter and Illawarra resident James Wilson waited 6 hours for his test.
They had to get traffic control down there. The pathology centre had to get more staff. It was just, manic from the get-go. every which way, every roundabout started to get really packed. There was a bit of road rage.
So how did the virus get here? New South Wales Health has confirmed 2 positive cases in Wollongong. 2 women from the same household, one aged in her 50s, the other in her 20s. It's understood the older woman had visited Sydney twice a fortnight ago. It's believed she picked up the virus in the CBD. She also attended 2 Greek Orthodox church services in Wollongong on Sunday, sparking concerns certain religious practices could potentially further the spread.
We'll follow up that with the religious leaders and again, we've got guidance on churches for COVID safety and we'll reach out to them.
This afternoon, a new alert further south for those who visited the coffee club at Stockland Shell Harbour on December 27, while the advice for shopping centres at Fig Tree and in central Wollongong changed slightly. Those who'd been there told they only have to get tested if they develop symptoms.
There is some new advice that's come out.
Yet it seemed to make no difference to the never-ending lines. Those waiting for testing here at Wollongong Hospital have been extremely patient. It's now starting to rain and these people behind me sitting in the gutter have been here for 8 hours now and are still not at the front of the queue. The risk of having such long wait times, though, is that people simply give up and go home.
The number of clinics desperately needs to increase here in the Illawarra. I know because I've spoken to people who have turned around and decided to wait and hold off on getting testing. We cannot afford that.
And an ominous warning of more cases ahead.
We are concerned that there may have been inadvertent transmission.
Laura Tunstall, 9 News.
The Territory Government has acted swiftly, declaring the Sydney suburbs of Croydon, Croydon Park, Lilly-Pilly, Strathfield and Sutherland as coronavirus hotspots. Those currently in the Northern Territory who visited those areas since Christmas Day will need to immediately self-isolate and get tested.
This emerging cluster, where there's a couple of mystery cases and some contacts that until we can see where that's going, it's appropriate to declare those suburbs of Western Sydney, inner Western Sydney, a geographical area of risk.
From midnight tonight, anyone arriving in the NT from the updated suburbs and existing Northern Beaches hotspot must undertake 14 days supervised quarantine. We have a clearer idea tonight of what reopening our international borders could look like. The federal government could adopt a traffic light style system, ban entry from COVID hotspots and potentially allow vaccinated travellers to avoid hotel quarantine, but state and territory leaders aren't convinced.
Touchdown Australia, international arrivals with masks on and bags in tow. Next destination, hotel quarantine. But having a vaccine could become your express ticket to travel.
It's certainly something we're looking at.
One option also under consideration by the government is a traffic light style system, allowing people in from countries allocated as green zones and not make them quarantine in hotels if they've been vaccinated, but to be tested every few days. Amber, forcing quarantine, potentially for those coming from countries where there may be vaccine shortages, places like Pakistan, Mexico, South Africa and Zimbabwe. And red zones, effectively barring travel from a country or region if it's high risk, similar to northern Italy and Wuhan early in the pandemic. How countries get access to enough of the vaccine is a serious concern.
It's going to take us from March to October in a high resource country to get everybody vaccinated. The low and income countries won't be able to achieve that for several years.
And for some leaders here, allowing travellers to skip hotel quarantine, even if they're vaccinated overseas, is too risky.
We've got a hotel quarantine program for the foreseeable future.
I'm not comfortable with having anybody outside the quarantine system who's come here from overseas.
And doctors fear the vaccine won't prevent transmission.
You might be able to bring COVID into Australia and spread it through our community, despite not being susceptible to it yourself.
They want 80% of Australians vaccinated before hotel quarantine is no longer required, and that task is huge.
170,000 injections per day, each day for 240 days.
One extra level of protection at the borders could be rapid antigen tests, which can diagnose COVID in 10 minutes.
But we can test them a couple of times in a row and then send them home.
Health authorities here are standing by traditional testing.
We're relying on that gold standard for now.
The golden hope for 2021 might be these vials. Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
It's been revealed America's vaccine distribution efforts are falling far behind schedule. President-elect Joe Biden has attacked the president for not doing more, as the nation's top doctors warn the pandemic is about to get a lot worse.
Standing in line for hours, Florida seniors patiently queue to get the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, it means everything. See our kids. We haven't seen our kids since January, February, so.
As the vice president-elect becomes the latest top official to get the jab.
That was easy.
But the country is falling behind on its vaccine schedule. Under Operation Warp Speed, the US hoped to administer 20 million doses by the end of the year. But the latest data shows just 2.1 million people have received a shot in the arm. The Trump administration claims the figures are due to delays in reporting, but as the president played golf today, the blame game got underway.
And the pace of the vaccination program is moving now, if it continues to move as it is now, it's going to take years, not months, to vaccinate the American people.
I mean, even if you undercount, 2 million is an undercount, how much undercount could it be? So we are below where we want to be.
Thousands of Americans are dying by the day. One of them, newly elected Congressman, Republican Luke Letlow. The 41-year-old father of two from Louisiana, now the highest-ranking US politician to die from the virus. And Dr. Anthony Fauci warns the country is still heading in the wrong direction.
And in addition to the surge, we're going to have an increase superimposed upon that surge, which could make January even worse than December.
Here in California, the state's stay-at-home order has been extended as hospitals struggle to cope with the rise in infections. It's a pain being felt across the country, with COVID patients now filling 40% of the nation's ICU beds. In the United States, Tim Arvia, 9 News.
In breaking news, the UK has just approved the Oxford University and AstraZeneca vaccine, the second jab to be approved by the nation. It comes as Britain logged a record number of COVID cases for the second day in a row, with a staggering 53,135 new infections. There are fears the soaring numbers will bring even tougher restrictions for parts of England. The biggest decision in cricket is usually whether to bat or bowl, but there's been a bigger question mark over the third test between Australia and India. Authorities have finally decided it should be played in Sydney, but tonight the debate goes on.
A sharp and concerning rise in Sydney's COVID cases, but hours after greenlighting the SCG test, Cricket Australia was sticking to its guns.
At the moment, tickets are on sale for the New Year's test, and we'll continue to work closely and take the best advice.
Right now, that advice is to proceed with the help of a strict bubble designed to keep players, officials and broadcasters safe. They'll remain in the team hotel, only allowed out to train and play, and under an agreement struck with Queensland Health, they'll then be permitted into Brisbane for the fourth test.
There's heaps of complex moving parts with these kind of decisions, but we all feel really comfortable.
But with 9 cases yesterday and 18 today, some like epidemiologist Catherine Bennett believe an urgent rethink is needed, especially when it comes to crowds.
I'm concerned it's not a large ground, so you don't want anywhere near 50% capacity. In Melbourne we had a third, and that was without any community transmission.
The Premier doesn't concur. At this stage, up to 22,000 fans could be allowed to pass through the gates.
The best health advice to us is that 50% capacity of that venue in an outdoor setting is safer than being in a household.
The New Year's test has always been a celebration, a sea of pink in the stands on day 3. But Australia's Chief Medical Officer has plenty of reservations.
With my family, I wouldn't be taking them to this particular cricket because of the vulnerability.
Players will remain in Melbourne until Monday, by which time officials are hoping the situation will have calmed in New South Wales.
I think everyone's prepared to do whatever it takes. I think we've kind of got the outlook that the relative freedoms that we've had so far this summer has been a bonus.
But if we've learned anything about this virus this year, it's that the best laid plans can easily and quickly be uprooted. Clint Stanaway, 9 News.
The AT government has been criticised after it announced the closure of Windows on the Wetlands due to the rundown tourism spot being underutilised. The opposition has argued its popularity. The attraction holds a 4-star rating on TripAdvisor.
The Gunner government has spent over $1 million on trying to entice people from Germany who can't even come to Australia. The Windows Wetlands is a location where it's open all year round. You can get there in any vehicle. Wouldn't you think it's a lot more common sense to get that up and running?
Windows on the Wetlands is scheduled to close on January 1. The stage is set and the fireworks are ready to blast off as the waterfront braces for thousands at their New Year's Eve event tomorrow night.
Obviously alcohol is going to be a key player on New Year's Eve. We encourage people to drink, but drink responsibly and behave in a socially responsible way.
Extra police will be patrolling the waterfront precinct as well as Mitchell Street. Well, it's time for a quick look at what we can expect tomorrow night weather-wise with Talia Sav. And Talia, it's been a wet 24 hours in the top end.
It has been, Murph, and although it cleared up throughout the day, Darwin and much of its surrounds was soaked overnight and into the morning, making it very hard to get out of bed. More than 40 millimetres fell across Darwin, a bit more in Howard Springs, more than 80 millimetres totalling there. And although we can expect showers to continue across the week, the big question is, will it impact tomorrow's countdown and fireworks? Murph, I'll have those details and more in the full weather forecast a bit later in the bulletin.
Oh, Talia, you are a tease. We'll see you then. What sparked a spate of shootings? Cars torched and children caught in the crossfire. That story is next. The mystery of the ghost captain. Mystery of the ghost boat, I should say. No captain, just a dog on board, but there's more to the story. And in a wild police pursuit, 2 officers put their bodies on the line.
From sweetest devotion to heartbreak.
It's quite disappointing and disheartening.
The mums on the warpath over baby products that never arrived.
It's a lot of money to lose.
So why is this woman who runs the company...
This isn't our fault.
...acting like it's a joke?
Guys, current affairs here.
A current affair next.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
Harvey Norman Summer Sizzlers. Enjoy summer at home with Sonos. Huge savings across the range. Sonos Beam now under $500, save $100. Many more audio deals, plus get 60 months interest free with a bonus gift card. Now at Harvey Norman.
At Hidden Valley Ford Used Cars, we make it easy for customers to buy all makes and models. And we also make it easy to sell your car too. Our experienced buyers can provide you with an obligation-free quote. So avoid the hassle that comes with selling a car and bring it straight down for a great price.
Here at Hidden Valley Ford, we have over 80 used cars in stock. Every car comes with a 120-point safety check and gets a free warranty.
Located on Stewart Highway in Berrima. Visit us for a test drive today.
Gateway's mid-year sale is on now. There's massive savings centre-wide on big brands at all your favourite stores. Plus, with free easy parking, you can shop all day. Hurry, it's on now, so grab a bargain today at Gateway.
I'm giving a shout out to the Beds R Us New Year's sale. And as far as sales go, it's going to be huge. Up to 50% off beds, bedroom furniture, Australian-made mattresses and adjustable beds. The Beds R Us New Year shout out sale on now.
With the world locked down, we're setting the travel guides loose across Australia with old favourites.
It's okay to fart and relax your anus.
And new faces.
It's not the size of your ditch, it's how you blow it.
Travel Guides Aussie Spectaculars.
We got to sleep on top of one of the 7 wonders of the natural world.
You shouldn't talk about me like that.
Coming in January on 9.
9 News Darwin, proudly brought to you by TIO, insurance for Territorians.
A naked Bodie, his dog and their runaway yacht. This is a survival story like no other. Going overboard and missing for hours, the man eventually plucked from a marine beacon after his yacht washed ashore. The skipper telling 9 News of his terrifying swim to safety and just how he managed to signal for help.
Clinging to a beacon off Caloundra. That's David Simpson. He's been there for over 3 hours.
I was just concerned I wasn't going to be around for my family more than anything.
And this is how the 64-year-old experienced yachty ended up at the mercy of the sea. He was trying to secure his dinghy to the stern of his cruiser when
the rope broke holding the dinghy, and the dinghy hit me and I fell about 2.5, 3 metres on my ribs and off the boat.
The 13-metre MV Focus still running. His 13-year-old staffy Mitch on board, swept ashore and running aground on the Caloundra sandbar.
I was watching the dog in the boat floating away.
David in survival mode.
I swam for about maybe half a mile or 3/4 mile.
All the way to the Cardinal marker.
They had a ladder about a metre up and I waited for a wave and managed to put my hands up.
On the mainland, local lifesavers spotting his yacht.
One of our lifeguards courageously hopped on board the vessel, which was still running.
An air and sea search being launched. On the beacon, David trying to flag down help any way he could.
I took my shorts off and was waving them, and maybe that's why nobody stopped, because I was naked.
And as the sun set,
the lights came on, the red beacon light, so I started doing a type of an SOS type thing, flashing for the next boat.
Finally, his prayers were answered. A cargo ship to the rescue.
I was very happy when he came out. Maybe the ship's pilot or something came out, and I realised he started flashing a light at me to tell me he'd seen me.
Did you hear that there is a person hanging on one of the pylon poles there, and they're sending a vessel to him immediately?
Luckily he was found before night time.
Does the person need any medical support over?
As for Mitch the sea dog,
I was pretty upset, so I had to try and comfort him as much as I could.
Little Mitch hitched a ride back onto dry land on a jet ski with his Knights in red. He spent the night with Corey and now he's waiting to be reunited with his owner. This morning, exhausted, a little bruised, but alive. David and the Coast Guard trying to salvage his yacht. Only 9 News joining them for the journey, even with boats and a jet ski. She wasn't moving.
Since we're broke now, Ian, the fact of the matter is that we can't do it. No. We're not budging her.
The MV Focus will be salvaged over the coming days. For David and his dog, a voyage they'll never forget. Sarah Court, 9 News.
A 20-year-old Melbourne man's been charged with dangerous driving offences over a street racing crash on the Monash Freeway that left a hoon fighting for life. 2 cars were seen weaving and changing lines on Monday night before one crashed into an overpass and rolled. The other driver is accused of fleeing the scene. An unlicensed Victorian woman will spend New Year behind bars after allegedly mowing down 2 police officers during a welfare check. Courtney Pollard is accused of sparking a pursuit across Melbourne's southeast, ending up in a stranger's kitchen.
After allegedly leaving her car wrapped around a tree in Burwood, Courtney Pollard ran around the corner right into Simon Phipps's kitchen.
3 policemen burst in through this door and nabbed her, but she put up a fight. She's a very strong woman.
Police say yesterday's high-speed chase could have ended in tragedy.
The driving of this female was incredibly dangerous.
The 27-year-old Fairfield woman is accused of turning violent on 2 young police officers outside McDonald's in Seaford. The members were doing a welfare check on the unlicensed driver, who was asleep, slumped over her steering wheel.
And when she woke, she then started the vehicle and drove at the police.
A male constable was pinned against the wall of the drive-through, while a female senior constable's leg was driven over, leaving her with a fractured foot. But Miss Pollard allegedly kept driving. Over the next hour, the air wing clocked her reaching alleged speeds of 170 kilometres an hour, racing through the suburbs to Burwood. Officers used stop sticks to force the sedan off the road before wrestling the intruder to the ground inside Simon's house.
If I was going to say anything, I'd say Good on them.
The 2 police officers injured here are expected to be able to return to work within the coming days. If Courtney Pollard is convicted, she could be subject to mandatory jail time for offenders who attack emergency workers. Charge sheets show she was already on bail. Investigators want dashcam vision from other drivers who may have been hit during the pursuit.
She placed not only herself and the police at risk, but the general public.
Eliza Rugg, 9 News.
Detectives are tonight searching for those responsible for a string of drive-by shootings in Sydney's west. 2 family homes were targeted within 2 hours. Police believe the attacks are linked.
A family home punctured with bullets.
We heard the noise and we thought it was a fireworks, and kids ran around and see the fireworks, and it happened to be gunshots.
Somehow, no one inside was injured. A group of men in balaclavas reportedly seen leaving in a blue Audi. A car matching that description later set alight on nearby John Street.
Noticed smoke coming from the street, looked out, blue Audi on fire.
2 hours later, another hit. Shots fired into a family home on Kirk Street. 2 adults and 3 children inside. Police say the same house was shot at on Christmas night.
We can't say that it was a retaliation for certain, but we believe that they're all linked.
The alleged getaway car, a white Audi, found burnt out in nearby Chester Hill. Police alleging he was driving a white Pajero spotted near the first shooting. Balaclavas were allegedly found in the car. He was charged as an accessory, but today granted bail. Court documents revealed the 27-year-old admitted to police he was driving the Pajero in question, but insists it was just a coincidence, telling detectives he was simply taking a drive in his neighbourhood looking for some fun.
He lives in the local area, so unfortunately sometimes wrong place, wrong time.
Grace Fitzgibbon, 9 News.
Still to come in 9 News, 12 months on, we revisit the community struggling to recover amidst a pandemic. Archie steals the show as the Sussexes reveal their new podcast. And a fever plus failing muscles. Golfing great Greg Norman opens up on his COVID battle.
Never before have we been this strong. 2 world #1s and the most exciting player on the planet leading the Aussie charge. There it is! Will this be our greatest Aussie Open ever?
That's it! Can you believe it? Just what this big crowd wanted. At Choice Main, you're set for summer. Smile big with this cordless all-in-one flosser, just $88. Bonus gift card with the Dyson Supersonic Hairdryer Gift Edition. Plus, get 60 months interest free and get a bonus gift card now at Choice Main.
At Total Tools, we won't be beaten on Boxing Day deals. Crescent 5-piece locking plier set, only $35.95. That's 58% off. Beat that. Hurry, stock strictly limited. Total Tools. Low prices on every tool for every trade. Guaranteed.
Gateway's mid-year sale is on now. There's massive savings centre-wide on big brands at all your favourite stores. Plus, with free easy parking, you can shop all day. Hurry, it's on now, so grab a bargain today at Gateway.
The Barbecues Galore Darwin showroom with the big brands in modern outdoor living. Compare the Ziegler and Brown range, plus offset smokers and low and slow barbecues. See the huge Barbecues Galore's showroom at 660 Stewart Highway, Berrima.
Been studying all night just so I can make my parents proud. I got to get the top marks, but it's just been really hard. It's going really well. Last night, I had some friends over actually, and we were studying together. My mum and dad think that I'm a star student. I don't know how to tell them that I'm not.
You're really worried about what your parents will think of you.
I haven't really been sleeping well actually. I'm glad I'm telling you. A little conversation goes a long way.
Here at Amart Furniture, it's the final week of our Boxing Day sale with up to 50% off a huge range of stylish pieces. You'd better get a move on. Amart Furniture, on sale this week only.
The Hyundai sale event is now on. Experience all the best sides, including stunning value on selected models in the Hyundai range. Limited stock only, so what are you waiting for? Test drive a Hyundai today.
Find me. Australia's Harriet Dyer sees what no one else can. If you want to leave here, I can help you. The In-Between, tonight 8:30 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Max Murphy fought for our country. Now his family is fighting for him, poisoned in his nursing home. Relatives demand justice. A current affair next.
We were promised the New South Wales South Coast would see the best fire recovery in the world. But as the first anniversary of the deadly New Year's Eve blaze bears down, it seems very little has been achieved. Blocks have been cleared, but the rebuild is slow in some parts and virtually non-existent in others.
On the South Coast, you'd expect to see shoots of hope, but on the faces of locals, there's still so much despair.
It feels like we've been treading water for 12 months now. Still walking around with other people's clothes on and sleeping in other people's beds. That's the reality for a lot of people.
In January, we stood in the ruins of Steve's Mooloolah Bay home, lost in the New Year's Eve inferno. Nearly 12 months on, the block is still empty. He comes every day to feed the animals, but his wife can't bear to be here.
I think we're the same as most people on the coast. They're just holding in there.
At nearby Mogo, families have spent the year camping, many too shattered to talk to us. Those who fought the flames now battling to get through to mates.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of time talking with them before you can gain an impression that really this person needs to go and seek some counselling.
The bush is recovering a lot faster than the people who live in it, and while the emotional barriers are hard to overcome, those trying to rebuild are also being bogged down by red and green tape.
To get anything done, it's impossible.
Mogo Business Chamber President Richard Adams has been helping people fill out application forms for grants, and even he is exhausted.
I'm frustrated with watching people having to come and relive the story to get help.
The sheer volume of homes lost slowing the process.
Waiting on council to get the house plans through, but in 12 months, nothing's changed much. We feel like we are the forgotten people.
Local member Andrew Constance accepting there has been a failure in coordinating the recovery.
We can't have all these structures, all this red tape and people falling through the cracks. I think the pandemic really stuffed it. You know, we had people volunteering in Blaze Aid, they had to go home. We had NGOs with people on the ground, they had to go home. We had mental health counsellors on the ground, they had to go home.
Leaving devastated people with only each other to lean on, local barista Matt has put his life on hold to help. From water and generators in the immediate aftermath, now he's delivering kitchens and tools.
A lot of people were very underinsured, so any sort of little bits of help to get that house up, just something up and livable is what they're after. It's sad, I guess, in a way to see that we're still needed.
From those who've lost everything to those who kept them afloat, this drained and battle-weary community still has a long way to go. Liz Daniels, 9 News.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have released their first podcast featuring famous voices of the likes of Elton John and James Corden. But there was one voice we hadn't heard before, with 1.5-year-old Archie making his vocal debut.
Archie, is it fun? Fun.
After me, ready? Happy?
Happy? New?
New?
New.
The half-an-hour episode reflecting on the year is part of a multi-million-dollar Spotify deal. Edinburgh's famous Hogmanay celebration has begun, but like most things, it looks a little different this year. Instead of crowds of people, organisers have used a crowd of drones to light up the night sky over Scotland. A different video of the synchronised display will be released each night of the festival. Greg Norman has revealed he was so crippled by COVID-19 he couldn't even open a door. The retired golfer was admitted to hospital twice last week after testing positive to the virus.
I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Any of the symptoms that I've had, not a combination of all of them.
The 65-year-old is now isolating at his home in Florida. Ahead in 9 News, a bottle of water and a smile. We meet the woman helping to ease border checkpoint stress. Spectacular scenes as a volcano's base becomes a lava lake. And Victorian vineyard that's caught the eye of a prestigious wine list with a $35 Shiraz.
The mums on the warpath over baby products that never arrived.
It's quite disappointing and disheartening. It's a lot of money to lose.
A current affair next.
The plate clearance is on now at Bridge Toyota with incredible offers on popular models. Save thousands with free on roads across the new Hilux 4x4 range. Or how about 3.9% across the CHR, Corolla Hatch and Corolla Sedan range. Starting from $88 per week for the Corolla Ascent Sport Hatch manual with Toyota Access. Race into Bridge Toyota, Darwin and Palmerston as these offers won't last.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Harvey Norman Summer Sizzlers. Enjoy summer at home with a huge 22% off selected Microsoft Surface. Bosch rechargeable hand stick vac, just $349. This Massport 4-burner barbecue, huge value, under $800. This Hisense 70-inch 4K smart TV, now $1,095. King Coil Conformarescence Queen mattress, $699. Rugs from just $99 each. Plus get 60 months interest free with a bonus gift card up to $500. Much more in store and online now at Harvey Norman.
Mr. Barra, Darwin's largest seafood range. Fresh, locally caught fish, prawns, oysters, bugs and more. See your fish filleted, cleaned or cut fresh when you buy it. For your special occasion, Christmas or just for yourself. Mr. Barra, selling to Territorians for over 35 years.
Alcohol contributes to 40% of all road deaths in the Territory.
We've had enough of the carnage on our roads.
We've had enough of putting broken bodies back together.
I've had enough telling parents their child will never be coming home.
We've had enough of losing our best and fairest.
In the past 10 years, more than 1,200 people have been seriously injured and 200 loved ones have died on Territory roads because of drink driving.
We've had enough pain and sadness to last a lifetime.
One for the road, mate?
Nah, mate. Enough's enough.
It's time we said enough's enough.
Did you see Anthony leave school?
Wait, he hasn't come home yet?
In the town of suspects,
He's loved. He wouldn't run away.
their greatest secret will be exposed.
He's out there. We're gonna find him.
The event series, The Disappearance. 9 now. Your world of free entertainment.
A $35 Australian wine has been named among the world's best by international critics. The Strathbogie Range's Shiraz beating a long list of more expensive drops.
The year is 2018 and in the foothills of the Great Dividing Range just north of Melbourne, there's a wine being made that's destined for greatness.
There's a bit of magic in there for sure.
18 was a very good year, very good year.
And so this Ladies Who Shoot Their Lunch Shiraz was born. 2 years later, the world's top wine critics say this $35 Victorian drop is among the world's best.
They review thousands upon thousands of wine every year, and it's just unbelievable to be named in the top 100.
The Shiraz is aged in huge 150-year-old casks made from English oak.
Smooth, fruity, very easy to drink.
And this recognition from the prestigious Wine Spectator magazine in the US has capped off what has been an incredibly challenging year.
To get an award like this at the end has put a real full stop on 2020, and we're very excited about it, and we're feeling a lot better about 2021.
Now, the experts say this Shiraz has an aroma of spicy oak and pepper spice and a flavour of dark chocolate, rich berry and oak spice with silky tannins. Now, I'm no expert. But I say it tastes pretty good. Just 2 other Australian wines made the top 100, a 2018 Penfolds Shiraz from South Australia and a 2017 Vas Felix Cab Sav from Margaret River.
It's always a long journey, winemaking, so when you get results like those, you always appreciate them.
Appreciate, like you would, a fine wine, and if Mother Nature cooperates, there could be more top gongs on the horizon.
Hopefully we can repeat it in 19 and 20 and beyond. Yeah, I hope so.
Reid Butler, 9 News.
Gee whiz, $35. It's a bit rich for me. As frustrations reach breaking point at the Queensland-New South Wales border, one Good Samaritan is taking matters into her own hands. On a mission to help motorists stuck in traffic mayhem, one bottle of water at a time.
Speeding down one-way streets, cutting through car parks.
It's just becoming quite risky.
Tensions are rising at our border, and it's easy to see why.
About 2 hours now.
We didn't prepare for that long with baby, so we are struggling.
From her Tweed Heads unit, Brianna Allen has a bird's eye view of it all.
I see it every day and I'm watching it from up in the towers, and there's a lot of aggression going on.
Sick of watching the stress play out on her street, she's taking action and fighting fury with friendship.
Well, you're nearly there, so you'll make it across.
I'm running rather late for work.
I'm sure you are.
Bottles of water delivered with sympathy and a smile.
Yeah, so awesome. Nice. Thank God. We've run out of everything.
A bright light of kindness shining in the gloom of a 9-month border battle. And while the heartache runs deep, Brianna knows she can at least make a difference for commuters in chaos.
Especially ones with little kids or elderly people with them in the car. Ones that didn't have aircon in their car, that were sitting there hot, sweaty, tired, cranky.
With no end in sight for border closures or scenes like this, Brianna's calling on border crossers and locals alike to take a leaf from her book and be kind to one another. After all, we're all in this together.
Thank you. You read my mind. You're an angel.
Megan Gillespie, 9 News.
Garbage collectors in the French town of Marseille have gone on strike, leaving more than 900 tonnes of rubbish uncollected. The dispute between trash collectors and their bosses is now in its 13th day with no end in sight. Residents claim the pile-up is causing a health hazard with a strong stench filling the summer air. Lava is always dangerous, but at night it's beautiful too. Scientists have captured a glowing river of molten rock cascading 40 metres into a lava lake in Hawaii's Kilauea volcano. The volcano, situated on the Big Island, began erupting last week. Coming up in sport, Joe Burns dropped from Australia's test team, while for the out-of-sorts Smith, it's straight back to work. A nervous wait for Melbourne City, one of its stars injured in its win over Brisbane, and Milwaukee turns up the heat on Miami with an NBA record for three-point shots.
Max Murphy fought for our country. Now his family is fighting for him. Poisoned in his nursing home. Relatives demand justice. A current affair next.
Never have I ever had a bite and booked a night. Ridges Palmerston offers contemporary rooms accompanied by poolside relaxation and dining options. We look after our locals, stylish facilities, territory rates and great value packages. Enjoy high teas or dinners from our Asian fusion restaurant. Madame Zha blends the freshest ingredients in a delicious contemporary menu. Ridges Palmerston, a great place to meet. Book through Tourism Top End to use your territory voucher.
At Choice Main, you're set for summer with a beaut washer like this Fisher & Paykel front loader now under $800. Or save $300 on this Miele 8kg front load washer. All set for summer now at Choice Main.
So yesterday wasn't great, but today I feel like I'm going to try and turn things around. I just need to reset. I have booked a chat with someone this morning, and this afternoon I've put some time aside, so I'm going to go and do something that makes me feel like me again.
Hey Gemma, how are you going this week?
Hi, I'm doing okay.
It's a matter of you working out what's right for you.
A little conversation goes a long way.
The new look Casuarina All Sports Club. Superb menu, delicious steak menu with entertainment for all ages. Membership available. Come in and see for yourself. Casuarina All Sports Club on Trower Road.
I'm giving a shout out to the Beds R Us New Year sale. And as far as sales go, it's going to be huge. Up to 50% off beds, bedroom furniture, Australian-made mattresses and adjustable beds. The Beds R Us New Year shout out sale on now.
For the wet and dry season, Yeti is built for the NC. Camping World and Complete Angler are your authorised Yeti dealer. Our huge Yeti display holds the cold and keeps the heat. Find the right Yeti cooler or drinkware for your next outdoor adventure. From Ramblers to Tundras to the irresistible Yeti Colster can coolers. Beat the Territory heat and step up to the real thing. Your Yeti authorised dealer is Camping World and Complete Angler Darwin.
Mr. Barra, Darwin's largest seafood range. Fresh, locally caught fish, prawns, oysters, bugs and more. See your fish filleted, cleaned or cut fresh when you buy it. For your special occasion, Christmas or just for yourself. Mr. Barra, selling to Territorians for over 35 years.
With Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard across the Hilux range, you'll be as connected as you are comfortable. Maybe a little too comfortable. The connected and comfortable new Hilux. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Paramedics. One of the most terrifying things you could ever go through.
I know this is scary, but you're going to be okay.
Tonight on 9.
This sports report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop online, mobile or in-store today.
Joe Burns' Test career may be over after the struggling batsman was released from the Aussie squad for the final 2 tests. Will Pucovski and David Warner have been added to the squad, while Pat Cummins has backed Steve Smith to return to form in a big way.
With their test duties done a day early, some rare free time for our cricketers. Golf, the activity of choice. Those freedoms will be short-lived, however, with much tighter controls to come in Sydney and Brisbane.
For sure, some people are going to have it harder than others. I'm lucky I got a week or so at home during the one-dayers, during the T20s. But yeah, we do have some guys who haven't seen their partners for 4 or 5 months.
It was perhaps no surprise that Steve Smith led a small group to the MCG nets with his mate Marnus Labuschagne in tow. Only today, Smith was bowling. Both so far not quite living up to their own lofty expectations with the bat.
The reality is it's only been 2 test matches. They're both massive run scorers.
Cummins adamant the pair don't need to look too far back to recapture confidence and form.
Marnus absolutely churned them out and dominated last summer. Steve was it a month ago that he scored 2 back-to-back hundreds in the one-dayers off 70 balls or so. No stress. I'm sure they'll find a way.
David Warner, meanwhile, will rejoin his teammates tomorrow night before the entire squad flies to Sydney on Monday. Ayrton Woolley, 9 News.
Big Bash veteran Ben Dunk admits the Melbourne Stars' last 2 losses have been a reality check, but the perennial finalists think there could be a silver lining.
Eclipsed by the Sydney Thunder, the Stars arrived in Hobart ahead of Saturday's crucial clash with the Hurricanes. The club still coming to terms with frustrating back-to-back losses.
I think the last 2 games have provided us a reality check of where we're at, so I'm hoping that the team now bounces back.
It took an incredible innings from Sydney's Alex Hales, 50 off just 21 balls.
Well, Hales is in the mood.
To stump Melbourne, but according to Ben Dunk, there's no need to panic.
If we keep forcing opposition teams to do something incredible just to beat us, I think it's a pretty good blueprint to go a long way in the tournament.
And despite posting a competitive 168, the Renegades have suffered a 3rd straight loss in a thrilling clash with the Sydney Sixers. Will Sutherland given the responsibility of defending 16 from the final over. The youngster, though, no match for the big-hitting Jason Holder.
Straight up, takes on Meadow, it's gone. Decent hit, and it is gone.
Alicia Muling, 9 News.
The Brisbane Roar have been left to rue a number of squandered chances in the first half against Melbourne City in their A-League season opener. City snatched all 3 points with a second-half goal to Connor Metcalf.
We lost the game, so, and I don't think we should have. We had enough chances not to lose a game. So right now for us as a group, we're disappointed. So, we'll find the positives in the performance and the fact that we're creating chances. But, at the end of the day, we've still lost and it still stings.
The Victorian side's win soured by a hamstring injury to star recruit Andrew Naboot. Manchester United has climbed to second on the Premier League table thanks to a 1-0 win over Wolves. Marcus Rashford's deflected shot finding the back of the net in the 93rd minute, securing all 3 points for United. At the other end of the table, West Bromwich Albion just can't take a trick. This horrendous own goal, the first of 5 they conceded against Leeds, who have now won 3 of their past 4 matches. Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers have continued their strong start to the NBA season, defeating the Toronto Raptors by 7 points this afternoon. The victory improves Philly's record to 3 wins and just the 1 loss, which puts them in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. And the Milwaukee Bucks made an NBA record 29 three-point shots in their 47-point demolition of the Miami Heat. Talia has your full weather report after the break. Talia, can we expect a storm for New Year's Eve?
Murph, there's a likely thunderstorm for the top end tomorrow morning. While that storm activity is expected to hit inland in the evening, I'll have those details next.
Nine News Darwin, proudly brought to you by TIO, insurance for Territorians.
The mums on the warpath over baby products that never arrived.
It's quite disappointing and disheartening. It's a lot of money to lose.
A current affair next.
Harvey Norman Summer Sizzlers. Enjoy summer at home with a refresh using the Bissell Advanced Pro Heat Power Brush Carpet Cleaner. Hot price now only $388. Plus get 60 months interest free with a bonus gift card. Now at Harvey Norman.
Gateway's mid-year sale is on now. There's massive savings centre-wide on big brands at all your favourite stores. Plus, with free easy parking, you can shop all day. Hurry, it's on now, so grab a bargain today at Gateway.
We've got everything you need at Mower World Darwin, stocking all the big brands and models, including Husqvarna Outdoor Power Equipment, Skag ZTR, Massport, Yamaha Golf Carts, Husqvarna Construction Equipment, plus lots more. And keep your eye out for our Husqvarna catalogue that's out now, plus the backing of our sales, service, parts and accessories divisions. We at Mower World Darwin have you covered. Mower World Darwin, Stewart Highway, Berrima, next to Camping World Darwin.
So yesterday wasn't great, but today I feel like I'm going to try and turn things around. I just need to reset. I have booked a chat with someone this morning, and this afternoon I've put some time aside, so I'm going to go and do something that makes me feel like me again.
Hey Gemma, how are you going this week?
Hi, I'm doing okay.
It's a matter of you working out what's right for you.
A little conversation goes a long way.
The Saucy McRib and legendary El Maco are back at Macca's. Delicious pork dripping in smoky barbecue rib sauce and juicy beef with chunky Mexican salsa. Wherever summer takes you, we'll be here.
This weather alert brought to you by Fridge-Lek. We've got the stock. Be cool and comfortable. Fridge-Lek, your Dakin air conditioned specialist.
Hello again. Well, the last day of 2020 is shaping up to be a wet one, but we can expect warmer temperatures and sunshine in central parts of the territory. But first, let's take a look at Darwin today. It hit 31 degrees, the humidity hitting a sticky 98%, and right now it's around 29 degrees in the city. Taking a look at the satellite, a trough of low pressure extends from southwest WA to the Kimberley region and continues further across southwest Queensland, while a large area of active cloud and embedded thunderstorms covers northern parts of the NT. For the capitals tomorrow, 28 in Brisbane with a potential shower or two. A bit of rain also expected for Sydney, 24, and Canberra, 26. Morning showers in Hobart, top of 17 there. 23 for Melbourne and cloudy. A sunny 29-degree day for Adelaide tomorrow. Sunshine 2 in Perth and 32. In the top end tomorrow, Katherine, a possible storm and set to reach 34. Tennant Creek, a warm 38 degrees and mostly sunny. Clear skies for Alice Springs 2, 36 there, and 39 degrees in Yalara. On the Darwin Harbour, seas around 1 metre, west to northwesterly 10-knot winds increasing to 10 to 15 knots early in the morning. A low tide of 1 metre just after 1 p.m, after rising to nearly 6.3 metres around 6 a.m. Time to check out our catch of the day. Today's winner is Paula. She caught this beauty with her son just near the boat ramp at Dundee Beach. Great stuff, Paula. And we'd love to see your catch of the day entries too, so send them through to newsphotos@9.com.au. Showers and a storm likely in Palmerston tomorrow, 31 degrees. The same story in Humpty Doo. A degree warmer for Darwin tomorrow. High chance of showers likely in the late morning and afternoon. So the next 7 days in Darwin. Temperatures in the low 30s and a very likely chance of rain throughout the week and light winds. And Murph, while there's likely to be showers around tomorrow, at this stage they shouldn't impact fireworks here tomorrow night. So fingers crossed it stays like that.
No, I'm crossing my fingers, Talia. I love my fireworks. We'll see what happens. Thank you. Well, who can resist fluffy plumage and slender legs? It's the characteristics that are already making these emu chicks a big hit at the Australian Reptile Park in Sydney. The youngsters are sharing an enclosure with another iconic Aussie animal, the yellow-footed wallaby. Yeah, absolutely spectacular, aren't they? Well, that is 9 News for this Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. We do hope you can tune in again tomorrow night. I'll be back from 6 p.m. But for now, from all the team, I'm Paul Murphy, wishing you a very good night.